What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is 7 questions Americans always ask me about Britain and its people.
7? It's easy the other way around for us because we obviously, it's easy to ask things about a different country, but I don't know what people are asking about.
So this is like curious things, isn't it? Like something ridiculous like, do you actually drink tea? Or do you actually like tea?
Yeah, or do you know the royal family? I feel like
yeah, it could be. Oh, have you met the Queen?
Yeah.
Well,
king now. Well, yeah, I feel like they're like the kind of questions, but it's hard to do it that way around.
Yeah. Oh,
easy the way.
It could be like, can you say water? We get that a lot. That's a question we get. I don't know if that'll be in this.
I don't know if that's one, because it's about people as well.
Oh, I suppose, good shout. Not accents, I guess.
Maybe with accents, but...
Maybe. We'll see. Smash the like button, guys. Smash the subscribe button. We'd really appreciate. We're back.
We're back.
Hopefully you guys...
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully we're back. Yeah, we're recording this on the 9th of July. We think we could start posting on the 16th, so you'd have seen a video yesterday and a live stream hopefully last night, and then hopefully today on the 17th, you've seen this. Yep. Touch wood, hopefully. It's looking more positive. So, we've got Lost in the Pond. We know Lost is a legend, and we'll let us react to his video, and we will transform this content.
Yeah, into our own.
Into our own, with comment and critique. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Do smash that like button. We would really appreciate it, by the way. And thank you for being legends and supporting us this past few weeks. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to questions. And this video is sponsored by Mondly, who are offering 96% off lifetime access at mondly.app/lostinthepond. Specifically, questions that I've received over the years from my American subscribers about the United Britain. As somebody who has resided in the United States for 16 years, and as somebody who talks about that fact at great length on this very channel, I in fact receive several such questions every single day. I am happy about that. This is just my general disposition. And so today I wanted to do something that the last 9 years of running this channel has led up to. Revealing the 7, that's 5, most common questions that I get from American subscribers about Britain. And if you yourself haven't become a subscriber of what the Quincy Gazette refers to as a content creation phenomenon, do that now.
That's big praise.
In the meantime, here are the most common questions that I receive from Americans about Britain. A question that I get all the time received from Americans about Britain.
Why do people say maths? Oh yeah, they say math. That's a good shout, actually.
Mathematics. It's got an S in the end.
I don't know why. Is it
mathematics? You're just shortening it, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess. I
don't
know.
if they
I just
call
say
it
maths.
I don't know if they call it mathematics though.
Or mathematic.
Mathematic? No, surely not.
I don't know. I really don't know. But we do. That is correct. We do call it maths. And Lawrence is hopefully going to tell us the history.
A question that I get all the time is, why do British people say maths instead of math? And this is one of those questions that often gets asked in reverse as well. In other words, why do Americans say math instead of maths? And if you go on any kind of internet forum, as we used to say back in the past, you'll generally speaking have Americans defend their position and Brits defend their position, and nobody see the other side's argument. But the common reason that we give as to why we pluralize...
Do you see an argument in it?
I mean, we all know what we're talking about.
Yeah, but could you formulate an argument? I know you just kind of did, but are you serious with that argument, or is it just I don't know, we call it maths, they call it math?
No, I feel like we call it, I don't know what they call it, but I feel like maths is mathematics.
Yeah, okay.
We just shorten it.
It's because
so
of that,
you put an S on the end.
Maybe.
I don't know what they call it, so.
I don't have an argument for or
I don't know,
against.
that's just the argument I have for us.
If you guys want to call it math, you guys call it math, I guess.
Is that it is short for mathematics, which itself describes various disciplines of maths. Now, in America, mathematics is obviously seen as a singular entity, just like English and science, even though all 3 of those subjects contain multiple disciplines. In science, you have chemistry, physics, biology. In English, you have English language and English literature and many other facets in between, which then makes me realize that neither country is consistent. After all, nobody in Britain would say I have a degree in Englishes. On the other side of the coin, Americans might refer to sporting activities as sports to denote the fact that there is in fact more than one sport. In Britain, we don't usually have that final S, even though the argument for it being a countable noun is pretty strong. So I suppose in that regard, it's just like the rest.
If we're talking about multiple sports, we'll have sports in, won't we?
I don't know when we would say sport.
Playing
I'd say...
I'd probably add the S in most of the time.
Playing sports.
Well, the sport on TV, but I would be referring to one thing on TV. I wouldn't say the sports on TV.
You'd say the sports channel, wouldn't you?
The sport channel.
I don't know if I use it enough to know which one I would say.
If I'm maybe I got it wrong for much. If I'm referring to multiple sports, I'll say sports. If I'm referring to one, I would say sport. Oh, football. I absolutely love that sport.
Which is the correct grammar way to say it.
And I assume Americans do that as well. That's what I picked up from that.
I thought they just said sport.
Let us know in the comments below.
I don't know.
For multiple, do you say sports or sport? Let us know.
I feel like you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Of the English language, no one can really make up their mind what the rules are. At least once a month, I get this question. Why do Brits put an R in words that don't have one? And at first I was really confused.
Can you think of any words? An R in words that don't have one?
I guess water. Like
No, it has an R.
Not at the end.
Oh, you mean before?
War, as in spell like
water. I guess. That's a good. Instead of water.
Yeah.
But what do Americans say? Go on, do it in an American accent. Go on.
No, I don't think they do say R. I don't think they do. I don't say they don't say
no,
water.
I want to hear your American accent because you're quite good at go on.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it. No, you try.
Water. Water?
Yeah,
is that
wait,
it?
do it again.
Water? Was it
Sounds like you're saying R though.
I don't know.
But I don't think they do.
Give it a go because I think yours is quite good.
Not this one.
No.
But I don't think I don't think they say R.
Example of what they meant until somebody gave me an example. In the Beatles song A Day in the Life, John Lennon says, I saw a film today, oh boy. Now, most British people probably wouldn't find anything particularly unusual about the way it's pronounced. We don't even notice when he's singing it that he's pronouncing an R after the word saw. But to Americans, it's apparently very noticeable when British people do this. Really? And that is, of course, because the United States is a largely rhotic-speaking country. That is, most Americans will pronounce the R in words like door. So in American English, it's very important to differentiate between those words that do have R's in them and those that don't. If it were the Beach Boys singing A Day in the Life, it would most likely go like this. I saw a film today, oh boy. They would probably sound less like Kermit the Frog. Notice when I do that, there's no R sound. So why do we do it in Britain? Well, this is known as an intrusive R, and there's an intrusive...
Oh wow, I've never heard of R before.
Door.
Yeah, that was just a different example.
I'm just trying to think
about
how...
I know it was an R, but like I saw R.
I saw a door. I saw...
Well, no, you don't have to say a door. The door was just an example just about rhotic speaking.
Okay, I saw a dog.
I saw a dog. I saw a dog. I think I do say R in there, yeah.
I saw...
A dog, yeah. I saw a dog. Oh, wow. I've never noticed that.
What do they say?
I saw a dog.
I saw a dog.
I saw a dog. I saw a dog. Oh, wow.
I saw...
I've never noticed that before.
That's
weird.
I don't like it.
But we will continue to do that. Even the posh one does it.
I saw a dog.
Wow.
Intrusive cat. That is when you have a word that ends in a vowel sound like saw, that's followed by a word that begins with a vowel sound like a. And so our brains feel compelled to stick an R in between the two words so that the transition from one to the other feels a bit more fluid. And the best part is we don't even realise we're doing it.
Never. We've got an ad, so we're a bit back, but I've never seen that before. I'd never heard that before. I didn't know we did that, but now it's so obvious we do it.
No, don't do it for that.
It's
not every W.
No, it's when the two next to each other, like the W and A, it puts it in.
How about?
I don't know, we could be here all day.
I don't know if we do it for that.
Yeah, mind is blown, we'll be back.
And the best part is we don't even realise we're doing it. Now, of course, I get questions on a range of topics, and it's not just limited to words. Okay. One question that I get asked all the time is, do British people like warm beer? And the first time I was asked this question actually predates my YouTube channel because it was asked to me by a family member of my wife's. And I was quite puzzled by this because I've never really thought of British beer as warm. I've also never thought of it as British. Now, there will be instances, of course, when we buy, say, a 6-pack and there's no room in our fridges because they're tiny, so we leave them on a counter or a cupboard, and of course...
Is this about the pints? Are they cold or...?
Oh, yeah, the pints are cold. Yeah, pints are cold. I don't think it's that British people like a warm beer. I think the issue is...
They're just too lazy to put it in the fridge.
Not too late. I think most people put it in a fridge. I used to drink warm-ish Budweisers when I used to stream because I didn't have a fridge near us. So I used to have a load with me. Do you remember when I had the Budweisers underneath the desk when I used to stream? So I used to have quite a lot and they were warmer. But I think every British person prefers a cold pint.
I think it's the same with like any drink. I think like, I think we would prefer it with ice. Do we put it with ice?
Not
all
always,
the time.
yeah. If it's not convenient, like sometimes you go and get a 4-pack or something like that from the shop, you'll get in, you will put them in the fridge.
But you have one
But
that's
you probably
warm.
have one that's warm. It won't be like, oh, I need to wait for it to cool down. You'd have it. Some people do, like my dad, he's like, oh, we haven't put it in the fridge yet. He likes a really cold beer.
They put it in the freezer, won't he, like to make it?
Yeah,
cold
exactly,
quick.
to make it colder quickly. And don't be wrong, beer is nice.
But I don't think I don't think they prefer it warm.
Yeah.
Like
and,
I just think it's well, it's not warm yet. It's not cold yet.
I just don't think there's as much of an emphasis on it, and we will just drink it if it's not that cold.
Yeah, it's like I like the whole drink thing with the ice. I prefer ice, but I don't have an ice maker at home, so
Sometimes
you
just
just
have it
drink
normal, and you don't think about it. You don't think,
No.
oh, I wish this were cold. You just drink it.
yeah,
But when it's cold, you're like, oh, a
Yeah.
cold Coke is nice.
yeah.
Famously, we don't have air conditioning in Britain, so beer can, in those circumstances, get as warm as the rest of the house. But when you're talking about visiting British pubs, some of which also don't have air conditioning, to my memory, the beer was often cold and refreshing and usually mediocre. When it comes to temperature, I wouldn't say that I've noticed a discernible difference between beer that's served in America and beer that's served in Britain. So I'm not really sure where it comes from, but it is a stereotype that's labelled at the British. I'm also not a beer connoisseur, so I could just be talking out of my arse.
Same, to be honest.
As somebody who has in the past been accused of using the terms England, Britain and the UK interchangeably, I should probably point out that I do know the difference between the three,
Me too.
while conceding that it probably is quite confusing for people not from there.
Do
Basically,
you know it?
it's one island with islands all around.
For some reason, I do apologise. I was pressing space, it was muting the video then. That was weird, but...
The difference is
it gets confusing when the Channel Islands come into it.
well, it
That's
gets
the
confusing before that, I think, for people, because you have Ireland that's not part of the UK.
It's about Britain.
It's the Great Britain of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. That is what it's called. It's Great Britain of the United Kingdom. United Kingdom is almost like a country in the Great Britain.
Yeah, exactly. And like Jersey isn't part of the UK, but it's
Nor
part
is
of
the
Britain.
Isle of Man, nor is
the
the Isle of Wight,
Guernsey,
and obviously Ireland as a its
Ireland
own
as a
country.
thing, yeah.
But then you've got the UK, which is Wales, Scotland, England, and Northern Ireland.
Yep. And then
And that is like an island in itself.
And then you got your countries in there.
Then you've got your Channel
Scotland.
Islands, then you've got your...
But the Channel Islands is
Isle of
part
Wight.
of the Britain, not the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But I always say it's part of the UK. The words are technically wrong, but it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
It's the same thing until you can't order because they don't deliver to outside the UK.
Yeah, and it's like, but we deliver to Britain, so it's like, yes, get in.
From there. Basically, Britain is one island
believe
with
we're not on the
multiple
map.
mini islands all around it. And this consists of 3 countries that all get along in perfect harmony.
said we were mini
Scotland,
islands.
Wales and England. But the 3 of them, known collectively as Great Britain, also formed a unity with Northern Ireland.
What
and so
map?
that became the United Kingdom
I hope
of
he
Great
doesn't say
Britain.
it, 'cause I will
There.
but I'll be really angry if
That's
because
where we
we're
live.
part of the UK.
No, I think he'll say we're part of Britain. I don't even think he'll
I
mention this, but
don't
we'll
think
see.
you mentioned us either.
And Northern Ireland. So you might be asking, well, what about the rest of Ireland? We don't own them, so they're not part of this. Though technically the island that makes up Britain and the island that makes up Ireland is all part of the British Isles. It's so confusing. So I hope that that abbreviated answer answers the question that you needed answers to.
Didn't even mention us. Disappointed
Inevitably,
us.
when you have 2 countries
What was
that are
that?
needed answers to.
Well, it's actually pudding.
Dessert.
Dessert, yeah. Like brownies.
Like, would you like pudding? Would you like ice cream? Like Archie's a yogurt pudding.
Yogurt, yeah.
It's something that comes after your main course.
Yeah.
When you have 2 countries that are in fact separated by a large ocean, a lot of the memos that get lost in the pond pertain to food. And a question that comes up all the time is, how exactly do Brits define the word pudding? I had to think about this question when I was first asked it, because I'd never really imagined that we have different definitions for this word. And then I thought about it for a few seconds and realised, well, of course we do. In America, it turns out that a pudding is a very specific type of dessert that has sort of the consistency of custard, but isn't necessarily custard. This is weird to the British, although perhaps not as weird as our own definitions, because in England and or Britain and or the United Kingdom, pudding is a synonym for dessert. So that custardy thing would also be referred to as a pudding in Britain, but then so would chocolate cake and apple pie and ice cream. And you might think, well, what's weird about that? It seems pretty straightforward to me. Yeah, well, we also use pudding to describe specific savoury dishes. In fact, it turns out that it was in such a vein that the word pudding pudding originated. From the 13th century, it originally meant a kind of sausage, the stomach or one of the entrails of a pig, sheep, etc., stuffed with mincemeat, blood and seasoning.
Black pudding.
It makes sense with black pudding now. I didn't know that was
just confirmed that I'm never eating.
Black pudding's good as well. I think everything with pudding in is just good.
Banana pudding from Terry Black was good.
Was that banana pudding?
Yeah, had even vanilla wafers.
Yeah, it was really good. But whatever that banana thing was from
Archie loved it.
Terry Black was gorgeous. Everything with pudding in is just good. You're not the biggest fan of black pudding.
Or Yorkshire pudding. I don't even know why I'm saying
Yorkshire pudding's good as well.
Boiled and kept till needed. This is why, to this very day, Brits and people from that other country, Ireland, refer to a type of blood sausage as black pudding. And in the UK, this savoury definition extends beyond the context of blood sausage, because you also have Yorkshire pudding, which is similar to what Americans know as popovers.
They're not the nicest Yorkshire puddings I've ever seen in my life, but I'll eat them.
Better than the little frozen ones.
I like little crispy ones. Are good.
And of course, I couldn't really make the...
I don't actually know this question. I don't pay attention.
I don't think he has as much power as...
I think he does have power. I just don't think they enforce it because people are against it. I don't actually know.
Like the Prime Minister and all that, I feel like they're the ones that actually make the rules, aren't they?
They are, but I think the king has the power to sack them if he wanted to.
Because if the Prime Minister's sitting there and the king walks in, the Prime Minister ain't telling the king what to do.
Yeah, I think the king can actually just overthrow it if he wants to, but I guess in now's day and age, you just can't get away with that.
Yeah.
Like, everyone
got to have
wants
a
to
good
kick
reason.
off. Yeah, I don't actually know. You pay attention to the rules, don't you?
Well, only the royals. I don't really. But not really pay attention.
Yeah.
I don't really care about what they do as a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
This video without addressing a British institution in which some Americans have a surprisingly large interest, the royal family. And perhaps the biggest question that I get around the royals is, does the king actually have any real power over his subjects? Subjects is their word, not mine. Because in Britain, I don't think we'd ever refer to ourselves as subjects, and certainly wouldn't view ourselves in that way. And that's largely because the king doesn't really have any power over us. He just tours the country in a robe.
What?
They no longer have much say over the affairs of Britain. That's usually done at the political level, over which King Charles has to give his nod and approval. Yes, you can call an election right now, Rishi. Not that I was ever going to say no. Basically, a word that gets used commonly about the monarch is that they are just ceremonial in nature. At this point, I think they're just there because nobody can imagine them not being there. So you've got all of those British people that do love and adore.
I kind of get that. Like, I feel like they're kind of slowly on their way out in terms of power.
It is a massive touristy thing as well.
But they do bring a lot. But also, like, how do you just say to, like, Prince George, oh, you're not going to be king, we're going to have no king now. See you later.
I don't know. I stay out of it. I'm
really not bothered about like the actual.
Yeah, I stay out of it.
The deepness of it.
Yeah.
Or the British royal family and turn out for the parades and things like that. Although, and then you got people who can't.
Oh yeah, he's coming over to Jersey and it's bank holiday, so I love him.
Stand them. And neither party wins because this group, the group that really likes the royal family, inevitably ends up with way too many royal plate sets. And this group hasn't been able to effect the change they'd like to see, which is the complete removal of the royal family. And so in that respect, I suppose we are subjects. Not to be confused with maths. Finally, this sentiment seems to be everywhere that I look online, including my DMs and comment sections, and that is, why do British people dislike Americans? And I'll tell you something, the answer to that is really complicated. Firstly, for the large part, I don't think it's even true. You have to consider that us Brits love to moan. And I mean about anything. It could be the weather. It could be our local MP, Member of Parliament. It could be that the bus timetable has changed for the 4th time this month. Now, when this happens on social media, where the mood and the motivation of the person speaking is not entirely clear, I could see how a sentence like, oh, bloody Americans calling it soccer again, might seem like it's an attack. But something else that you should keep in mind in Britain is we attack our best friends. Chainsaw Jim is not just my mate, he's an arsehole. He really is an arsehole, and he's not my friend. Don't take these things personally, and Brits, do some fact-checking first. There's often a historic explanation that says the thing for which you are attacking them was in fact the original work of the British. Anyone who's been following my channel for a long time will know multiple examples, whether that is the British origination of soccer itself, or the word fall to mean autumn. If I've learned anything from this video, it's that I get a lot of questions, so thanks for those. And
well, ask us some questions in the comments below, because we might be doing a Q&A at some point, so please ask us some questions in the comments below. I mean, it's a tough one. I feel like in every country there's going to be people who hate other countries. It's like a small minority anyway. If you talk about actual hate.
Yeah, I don't think you can say. It's a bit bold to say British people hate Americans.
I've never met someone who hates them. Obviously, there will be comments about them. You guys calling it sock and stuff like that.
And also, like,
people do that. I
there'll
don't
be
personally
things
don't care.
about the little bits of the country that people don't like. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean as a whole.
Vice versa.
Like, there's bits about England that people don't
won't
like the royal family, for example. Doesn't mean you hate all English people.
Exactly, and maybe with, like Lawrence was saying, with the banter, because it is different banter, or at least the perception is it's different banter. Some people tend to disagree that it's different banter, so please give that argument in the comments below. I don't know. I've never really had that kind of banter with an American, so I don't know. But the perception, I guess, is Britain's a bit more. So, like, when you've got a little tiny bit of a gripe on a tiny thing, you might take it maybe a bit too far in an American's eyes who thinks you hate America.
Yeah.
But there definitely is some people who are just jealous. There's definitely that as well. But from our point of view, we absolutely love you guys. You guys call whatever you want, because at the end of the day, it doesn't affect anyone. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't harm anyone. It doesn't affect anyone. Be happy, have a fantastic day, and everyone get on.
Yeah.
That's the ideal world, isn't it?
You
What should
just
we
said
do?
my line. Have a fantastic day.
And we'll see you, legends, in the next one. Peace.